Meant to Be Well Summit is created by three incredible women, Ambreen, Valerie and Andrea. The main objective is to bring together experts from around the world to raise awareness about the importance of holistic well-being. This summit aims to explore the multidimensional aspects of well-being, including physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. This isn't just any event. It's a unique, global summit marathon designed to cover all time zones across the globe. We created this event because we genuinely care about you. We believe that everyone deserves to thrive and live a life of well-being. This summit isn't just about learning, it's about transforming your life. Our speakers are dedicated to inspire, uplift, and help you tap into your full potential. Join us, and let these world-class thought leaders guide you toward a higher level of mental, physical, and spiritual well-being.
Welcome again after a short little lunch break. Hope you had a nice meal with your loved ones on this Saturday. And here we are again for a few more sessions with me here in Singapore before we are heading over to the UAE with Ambreen again around 4 p.m. So I hope you are prepared. We brought you this interview with the beautiful Patricia here, and then later we will be having 2 masterclasses. Please let me know if you want to join. I will send you the links. And also we will have one more session at the end that will be wrapping up the Singapore time zone speaker sessions. Thank you so much, Patricia. I'm really happy to have you here. You are also someone who is here with us for the 5 years that we have been actually
5 years, yes.
For the 5 years. This is the 5th year, and I'm really, really happy that it's evolving into something new, into something totally different. And all of you who are watching, you can be part of it and forming it into this new experience that we try to create around redefining how we share knowledge and how we share experiences, how we support each other, how we actually learn. Like in the old times, I always say, like our grandmothers used to learn from each other while they were doing some work and sharing some experiences. And sometimes it's more powerful, I think, than just listening and just sitting back and just always learning and listening to hours of knowledge. So, Patricia, it's super good to have you here. I'm really happy that you could make it. This was a kind of accidental because Karishma suddenly couldn't make the masterclass, and I'm so thankful for you for jumping in on your holiday or on your session out of Malaysia, basically.
Yes.
Please introduce yourself a little bit before we are jumping into the session, and we will talk about our topic. But let us know a little bit more. I know that you have been through so much. Your life has changed so much. I know that you evolved so much. I know you for a while, and every year we see a different Patricia. So
I know, same here. Every year we see a different Andrea. Let me introduce myself. So my name is Patricia. I would say I am a hardcore student, and that's how I got connected with Andrea. By profession, I'm actually a stockbroker, so I work in a very intense and also challenging environment. But I think what keeps me going to continuously improve myself is really the thought of making myself a better version of myself. I love the topic. In fact, the opportunity to jump on board, I would say, is the call of the universe. Andrea is laughing right now because it was so powerful when Andrea called me up and asked me, hey, Patricia, are you able to do this? I'm just like, oh my God, this is really a dream come true once again, because I'm certainly here to share my experiences based on how I have lived my life for the entire, my journey as a human being. At the same time, when I keep believing in the law of attraction, which we're going to share with you later on, I can see myself evolving and also getting more mature and also managing my own self as a human being. So I'm super excited today to share with you my experience. It's worked for me so well. And yeah, thank you so much, Andrea, for making this possible again for me. Yeah.
Yes, I really love this. And here we go. You can see the topic already, manifesting mental wellness, the power of thoughts and intentions. And I believe all of you who are listening now, you can all share your own experiences in the chat too, because maybe sometimes you were just wishing and saying it out loud that you want something, and then accidentally, oh, it came to you. And maybe that moment you didn't know that it was something that you had something to do with, but it's if it can be a conscious act, it can be something that you
Mm-hmm.
practice every day, and I think that's so powerful. But before we jump in, let's start with the definition. So simple thoughts and intentions, maybe we need to differentiate between the two of them, because
Yes.
people might not know what is the differentiator between these two things, and the power is coming from knowing it and using it on a way that it serves you. So Patricia, maybe you can share about your perspective. What's the
Yeah,
difference between thoughts and in?
certainly. Yeah. If Andrew were to ask me 10 years ago, I would have a different definition. But now that I've become a human being for many decades now, let me share with you. Thoughts are something that I struggle a lot, because if you Google it, human being on average, we will have 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts, and there are a lot. And when we think about thoughts, it comes from different category. It can be positive thoughts, or it can be thoughts of doing something, accomplishing something. And it also can also be ideal thoughts, when sometimes I think of daydreaming and that kind of thing. So all these are forms of thoughts, whereas intentions are slightly different. They are still thoughts, but it's always thought with a purpose. So for me, my intention to be on Andrea's statement is to make sure that I'm also able to give you value, and perhaps able to raise your awareness on the power of us as a human being, how important it is to really spend time to understand yourself, to reflect upon your experiences, so that eventually you can draw some life lessons from it. And that's why I am here today. So that's my why today. So there's a difference between thoughts and intention, but again, they are kind of related as well. Yeah.
I love it. I love the two different ways how you differentiate it, and I think that's really important to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have, like as you said, so many throughout the day, throughout just
Yeah.
1 hour, throughout these 30 minutes, you will have so many thoughts popping up. But
Yes.
then we are talking about the practical applications that can help you to build up your mental health and well-being
Yes.
practices. It's the intention that will make it actualize it in your life.
Yes.
And that's what matters, right? Because you can have hundreds of thoughts in your life,
Yes.
even if you are 80 years old. Maybe you have been thinking all the way and you never did something that you wanted to do. But intentions are the first steps towards making the thoughts something real, to implementing it, to putting it into action. So I think that was a perfect definition. And I think that after this we can go a little bit on our personal story, because I think we all procrastinate. Like on my side, I have to say that even though I'm an active person, everyone is telling I'm hyperactive, I'm always there, I'm always doing something very difficult or challenging. But at the end, it doesn't mean that I'm not procrastinating. And people have to understand that it happens to all of us. Sometimes we just have days when we don't want to do the things, and once we don't do it, it means we procrastinate, right? And setting very, very strong intentions and having this light above, although sometimes you will go down and you will be in the shadows, just resting and having this kind of peaceful mind and not doing anything. This light above, the general intention of your life and the general way of how you want to shape it, that will guide you, and then you come back to it, right? Every time.
Yes. It's like the big
it's like the bigger picture, right, Patricia? So share with me your story. I'm really curious about your story and anything that you can relate to about this topic in your life. Share with us your experience.
So I would start off with when I was a child, I was always very curious, and I always know I came with a purpose. I used to ask my mom, why did you bring me to this world? Is there a special purpose? So my mom, of course, being a tiger mom, Asian heritage, she couldn't answer my question, but she made sure I excel in school, even though sometimes I couldn't fulfill a dream as well. But I think one of the very important thing that I learned is to keep exploring and keep asking myself a lot of questions. So I hit some rock bottom when I was overseas in Canada when I was studying, because I was with no one and I was also putting too much pressure on myself, to the stage that I was having a lot of insecurity of who I really am and my purpose on this world. At the end of the day, my body actually gave up. I was like really weak because I also want to stay in shape, right? So I wasn't eating properly and all that. So there came a point when I need help. I need people to help me. So I was also very lucky to meet nice people around me, and I reach out for them to them, and then from there onwards, they told me, Pat, certainly you have a purpose in life, but do not fear your failures and setbacks as well, because those would be life lessons that it's going to benefit you for a long, long time. So I took that to the core of my heart, and I started to study the power of thought seriously, because I was also being terrified by my own thoughts, because sometimes the thoughts can go haywire, they run around, and that overwhelmed me. So because of that, I learned that from scientific research, human being, you can only have one thought at the time. You can't have multiple thoughts. And for me, that was gold. When I knew that reality, then I can calm myself down easier. And that raised my awareness on the power of thought. And as I go along, I try my best to really have better clarity, because when our thoughts are clear, it's just like a bottle of water. Clear mind, you are able to make better choices, better decision. Exactly what I was experiencing when I was clear. But of course, because I was also exploring, sometimes I could be drowned in my own negativity. I can be very honest with all of you. I struggled with negative thoughts all the time, because I came from a background that was full of trauma. And also, I learned that sometimes we just have to work on ourselves to be positive. And that was exactly what I was experiencing. And I have to say, when I was experiencing negative thought, my thoughts became like really cloudy and dirty. No offense to tea drinkers here. I love my tea, but I'm using this as an example. So that clouded my decision, and that affects my mental illness. I mean, my mental wellness. And because of that, I started to make more effort to understand the importance of mental illness. So all in all, if I connect the dots, that allows me to really feel the power of thoughts and intention. And that's how I came to know authors like Wayne Dyer. And of course, I'm a big fan of The Secret. Rhonda Byrne, who actually sold her secret for more than 35 million books across the globe. And that's when I heard her interview. She mentioned not that our thoughts are powerful, but we are powerful. So be very much aware of how we can actually be a master of our thoughts if we have enough awareness, enough clarity. And that's why I'm here today. I'm so excited and I'm so enthusiastic to share my experiences. So hopefully, end of the day, all of you will have your own takeaway, and perhaps they may trigger some new knowledge in you as well. Yeah.
Love it, love it. So
Really
our
intense,
thoughts are
though, yeah.
powerful, but it's also not just the thoughts, but you are also powerful. So
Yes,
whoever
we
is
are.
listening, you have to know it, that
Yeah.
whatever you are thinking, it might manifest by
Oh,
itself just
yes.
by you thinking
The
it.
good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah,
Be very mindful
exactly,
of that.
exactly. So we have a few people. I just want to say hi to Peter and Yuva and Achan for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here and supporting us. They are also part of the community, and Charm is here too.
Yeah, hi, Sham.
In the last 5 years, we have been together for the good and the bad, and every week we are meeting every Monday and trying to help each other, support, push each other. And I think that's also very important to not just to talk about the individual thoughts, but also the thoughts of the community and the people who come
Mm.
together, because it's super powerful.
Oh,
um,
yes.
maybe you have also some experience with that. You can share on that, how the community together, thinking together and setting intentions together can change things.
Oh, yeah. I believe we all have our own set of community that we are an influencer. And I'm super grateful that Andrea is able to pull all of us, so many speakers from year number 1 until year 5, collectively, thousands and thousands of speakers have jumped on board. And this is the power we have, because collectively we will be able to spread positivity easier. And I believe in general, human beings, they all want to be good. But self-growth can be a pain as well, because it requires time, money, and of course some solid effort to make change. And I believe we, as a human being, if you are able to participate in any group, particularly Andrea's group for sure, you are able to let your voice be heard, and you become the voice of the silence. And for me, this is absolutely powerful. And I feel everyone who tune in, you have a special purpose in life as well. And when we have that special purpose, I feel we will certainly be able to contribute to humanity's mental wellness, which is a huge issue we need to deal with at this point in moment. I mean, at this point in life. Yes. So there's where I'm coming from. Yes.
I love the comment from Match, and birds of same feather flock togetherness.
Yes.
I really love it. And it means so much, because at the end we became a family, and we call ourselves a little extended family with the community right now. And it's just growing and evolving and changing. And it's so important that we are going into one direction. We support each other. I think one other thing is very important now that we have time into the session is more about the practical part, because my sessions here in Asia are more about the practical application of several things and actions and exercises that we can implement into our own lives. And because you're following these amazing authors, you might know a lot of little tips that you have learned along your journey. So please share with us a few actionable tips or practices that people who are listening to it live or later can put into their own lives.
Yeah, certainly. I have to give thanks to social media. I'm a big fan of Facebook Live. So I do feel one of my how to make sure I am practicing all the time is to have a very disciplined plan to show up. So what I do is right now I am on 100+ power voices for Toastmasters International. So I would interview different Toastmasters to ask them where they are and what their superpower is. Because I believe human beings, we all have our own superpower, but we don't get to manifest it if we're not aware and we don't practice it, right? This is where I'm coming from. So I do have different platforms that allow me to carry my action plan. So to make it very simple, choose one exercise that you think you can stay consistent. For instance, I want to be good to one individual every day. How to be good? Give anybody a smile. That's so easy and it costs nothing. Perhaps another second plan is to help someone intentionally. What do I mean by that? If you see an old lady coming back, you can help her to open the door, right? Smile, open the door, very easy to do list. And that would actually gives us a lot of dopamine and certainly happy hormone, because we are helping people. So all these things would actually let us lead a more positive life and remove our mind from focusing on the negative, but to focus on the positive instead. So I believe in doing small little action rather than having a big plan. Of course, we need to have a big plan, but break it down to small little plan so it's actionable and you feel great when you have accomplished it. I do FB Live, and sometimes it's another great thing is to do journaling, right? But I'm not a big fan of writing, but I have to, right? But these are some of the little things that you can do. Very easy, make it easy for you so that it can be sustainable for you. So I hope that the little sharing can help. Or maybe you may have other little action plan that you can share with us. If you do, please type it in the comment box as well. Yeah. Andrea, how about you? Now I would like to find out from Andrea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was beautiful
Yeah.
practices that you shared. So I love that you are using social media also to be more conscious and using it as a journal, basically going live,
Yeah.
not alone, but you are also sharing your thoughts and people can resonate with what you have. For me, I think I have to learn a lot because I'm a hyperactive person.
Mm.
I also kind of like a control freak who always want to be perfect and professional. So it makes it harder a little bit. Plus, I'm an empath. So now you feel what
Mm.
I'm talking about because all these
Yeah.
put on each other as a layer, it's always giving, 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 and outwards, outwards, outwards. So my practice, what I can share with you, is intentionally going silent, disappearing for a few
Mm.
days, and recharging. And first I realized it because I got so tired and so overwhelmed,
Mm.
and I did it for the first time because I just could not actually not do it because my
Yeah.
body was so overwhelmed. And then I
Mm.
realized that basically by doing that intentionally, doing the stretch things, because I love to be in action, I love to do
Yeah.
long term events, I like to have a bigger impact. This is something that is my personality, giving out my energy. But to rejuvenate and to actually get back to my energy, refill my cup, I
Mm.
just shut down and I disappear for a few days, 2 to 3 days. And I just do everything silently. I just relax. I just don't do anything. I try at least. It's really hard at the beginning, I have to say. But then after you come back and then you are refilled, you can give again. And I think this is number one. So take some time off and switch off and don't feel guilty about it. I think
Yeah.
that is something for me that is working, the
Oh.
guilt.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is letting go. Like this is the
Mm.
fifth year, and this is the first time I have creators. Imagine this craziness. So for 5 years, 4 years, I have been doing it all alone, and I finally realized that it's good if we do it together.
Mm.
And now I have time to relax. I have time to follow up. I have
Yeah.
time for myself to just think the direction of this platform. There is time to reflect on the session and how people react. Where do we have more people in the comments? What is working? What is not working? So it gives
Mm-hmm.
you, sitting back and letting it go gives you a new perspective and
Mm.
a more opportunity to grow. So these two are my biggest tips for you also. Maybe you can try it, but I have to say it's very personal. So you have to find out your way, and normally naturally it will come to you. You just have to realize it's happening because you are overwhelmed. I think that's something that everyone has to learn how to
Mm-hmm.
realize.
Yeah.
We have a lot of comments coming in, so let me just get back to Sharm and Yuba and also Alchan, because we have some questions and it would be good to reflect on them in the last part of the session. So Yuba is saying that we plant in our subconscious, this is a very hard for my Hungarian tongue, subconscious mind, and nourish with repetition and emotion
Yes.
will one day become a reality. Very beautiful quote. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing. And then we have also some, Sharmi is also an empath, so resonating with me. And thank you for the recognition of the tips. And then here we go. We have the first question from Achan. What will be the next manifestation for you,
Wow.
Patricia?
What would be the next manifestation for me? I have a big goal, big dream that I want to achieve, but I want to break it down to small little ones so that's easier for me to manage. So my biggest manifestation is to really be a helper for everyone around me. I know this is a big dream. I used to be a people pleaser. I tried to make everybody happy, and that did not work. So my biggest manifestation right now is to show up fully, as authentic as possible, to be who I am. And along the way, I hope my action would inspire more people to have the courage to show up, to be themselves. I think we are in a world whereby we need to allow everyone just be who they are. And that means accepting whether good, bad, or whatever it is, just who they are, and not feel guilty about wanting to change the world to a better place. You know where I'm coming from? Even though I want the world to be a better place, but I think if we collectively are able to have complete acceptance of one another, that's when the war will start. I mean, will stop, and that's where we will find the eternal peace. That's what I really believe. Just live and let go, as Andrea has mentioned as well. Thank you for the question.
And we have the second question. Let's wrap it up with this one. After that, I have to jump out, and it's just going so fast because Nishit will start his masterclass very, very soon. But let's just answer this last question. How do you keep your positivity when you face a challenge? Let's reformulate the question a little bit.
Yeah, that coming back is actually from a deep wisdom that was brought up by Ray Dalio, one of the financial gurus. He once mentioned pain plus reflection is growth. So I embrace this, and I know every challenge that I face is another opportunity for me to see the next best version of myself. And I embrace the pain, and of course have to reflect upon it, and that's where growth starts. It's not easy, so I have to keep tattooing myself, mix around with Andrea, with Sham, with all the great people in my life, so that I'm deeply rooted. So if there's a final tip that I want to share with you, join a community where you can resonate with somebody. That's where you get the support, the love, and certainly whatever you need. You'll be able to draw strength from that group. So join a group. That's very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We were talking about manifesting mental wellness, the power of thoughts and intention with Patricia Yap. And please reach out to Patricia. She is the most active on Facebook, if I'm well. And you can search for her, Patricia Yap, with a Y, and reach out to her, connect with her, follow her live sessions. And thank you so much, Patricia. And see you again, guys, with Nishit in a few minutes for the masterclass. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you.
Enjoy your Saturday. Bye-bye.
Yes. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.